Hey, I just want to record this video before I go to bed to share a little of my healing journey in case this can help somebody else. So what I've realized is that a lot of our human suffering here on earth right now, collectively, humanity, it boils down to the battle that's within our mind, right? So I know, at least for me, sometimes I was feeling like I wasn't enough, worthy, lovable, unhealthy boundaries, overgiving, people pleasing. But then I came to the realization that a lot of those thoughts are based off of the external environment, my influences, what I've seen, heard, or been taught through the years to believe to be true. And slightly distorted information I was using to measure my value up against, and the things that I thought I needed to do. My worldview, my self-perception was a little bit distorted just based off of some of those ideas. But truthfully, I'm like, okay, well, the past, anything from the past that might have hurt me or gave me, challenges were just there as a reflection back to me on things that I need to work on personally. Like, you cannot control somebody else's behavior, right? But you can control your part in it. And oftentimes just things that you deal with that still carry with you emotionally into your present and into your future are unresolved traumas or hurts, experiences that actually happen to help you grow as a person. To know your worth, know your values, know your boundary, or have healthier boundaries. Stop depleting yourself, overgiving, people pleasing. Stop seeking external validation. Stop not loving yourself properly. And take the time to be still and to be alone and to get to know and learn who you really are. Become a free thinker and just evaluate your life. Like, a lot of the things that are still plaguing us, I think, is just on an emotional basis, and it's just based on these values and belief systems that we use, and we as what's true of what we need to do and have and become in order to have worth in this life. And I know, truthfully, success is important. Happiness is important. Stability is important. Life is short. But having all those things are not just strictly based off of the material world, right? And what you've been told is what you need to be doing to have value in this world. Those are just belief systems and ideas that's been passed down generationally. But some of that stuff was in our ancestry history. That was like, those are man-made ideas or beliefs or feelings that's just been passed down. But the truth is, we do stand on the shoulders of giants ancestrally. All of us do, in one way, shape, or form. But the shoulders that we all collectively stand on, every human being that ever lived, is the shoulder of, for me, that would be God. Whatever name that you use to describe your faith, that's the ultimate source of divine power, of the shoulders that we stand on, and that we should have gratitude for, ultimately, even beyond our ancestors, in a way. Like, when I've been reflecting, I'm like, my heart's beating, I'm able to breathe, I'm healthy right now. Who's gifting me and blessing me with that? The divine universal force who's responsible for this entire universe being here is who's allowing my heart to beat and for me to breathe air easily and to be here right now to record this video. And so that divine force sees me as worthy, and he loves me, or it loves us all the same, regardless of any material external possessions that we might be attached to, that we believe to be merged into what our identity is as a human being, a human species. No, that divine presence sees us as a lovable and enough and worthy in spite of any of that stuff. So now we do need to have financial stability in this material world, and a way to be safe, shelter and have possessions and stuff. That's what comes with being alive. Those are things you strive for, but that's not all that your worth is tied to. Like, we're inherently enough, we're inherently worthy, we're inherently lovable, because the force that created this entire universe and allows us to live right now in this moment continues to beat our heart and allows us to breathe. He sees us that way, inherently. And any emotion other than going through life and experiencing some sense of peace and happiness and passion and fulfillment, for me, I realized that was an indicator that I'm a slave mentally to something that I've been told, some type of subconscious programming or conditioning that has been fed to me throughout my life, or that I've taken in unintentionally, that has me a prisoner in my mind. And so far through my healing journey, I realized that one of the ways to help resolve some of the suffering is to be still and really try to dig deep and reflect on some of the negative emotions you might deal with or battle with, the self-depreciating thoughts. And possibly you can trace them back to what is making you feel that way, and sit with those emotions, but then eventually, accept the emotions, but then look at it even deeper and realize that those emotions are coming from you trying to measure your value up against this man-made rubric, societally, culturally, socially, economically, and that does not measure your worth, like your inherent worth, just for being a person and alive. Like, we're all children of the same God, and he sees us all equally, in spite or despite of any external materialism or possessions or degrees or any of this type of stuff. So then, we go through life and we accomplish those things, but those are not who we are. Those are just things that we do. Just think there's like some monks or nuns who don't necessarily strive for all that. Like they say, Mother Teresa, she was a successful person, but in a different way. It's just about having inner peace and happiness and love and joy and passion for life, and stop falling victim psychologically to the man-made societal, even sometimes our family, the pressures that we're put under to believe that we need to do or strive to be or become or have in order to have worth. That's not true. That's not true. And I just realized that I honestly feel like heaven is something we can experience on earth, and I think it just simply boiled down to a mindset, clearing the clutter, the ruminating thoughts, our inner voice of devaluing ourselves, and realize whose we are ultimately as a human species. We're children of the same God, whose we are beyond our parents, our family. That ultimate source of divine power and energy that's allowing our heart to beat for us to be alive sees us worthy enough to have life. And we have to connect to our heart and soul to realize that, in spirit. Otherwise, we'll continue to be suffering from the battles within our mind. And secondly, as we do that, or at least as I've been able to do that, I've been able to forgive and release experiences from my past with people that may have caused some discomfort in my life or pain, because I feel like every person on the planet, and even me, like we're all just trying to find our way back home to ourself, so that we can live our life from our purest, most authentic level of expression, without needing to feel like we need to conform to what someone else say, or like, no, because that's, I think, what leads to the struggle, or like the disconnect. It's like opposite forces within us. So we just have to be still. I had to be still and just realize, okay, a lot of the things that I'm blaming and shameful or upset about, or it's coming from me constantly reflecting on my identity and my self-worth and value compared to like whatever the man-made societal rule book is that we all live by. And we become enslaved by these different ideas in our mind. It's beyond just race to me. I mean, I feel like any place in your life or in my life that I realized that I was overly striving and compensating for, that was an indicator to me that I was falling victim, or that was something that had a grip over me and robbing me from my happiness, you know. So for some people, it's trying to seek external validation that you have worth or that you're lovable. Well, no, you have to take it back to realizing that God sees us as lovable and we're enough, we're worthy. And those are just our birthrights, right? So at the same time, some of us might be under the grips and psychologically slaved by the idea that money is what makes you valuable and worthy, to the point to where you're working like a horse to try to have value, or to meet the expectations of what you've been raised to believe you need to have in order to really truly stand for something. But you're working your life away. You hate your job. Yep, you got a lot of money possibly, but you're miserable. Like, no, we only have one life to live. And if you're not experiencing peace, love, and joy and happiness, then it's worth just doing some introspection. Because I think heaven is a mental state. And we can get there if we can get beyond, if we can heal the battle that's within our mind. It's not heal the soul. It's heal, our soul is always there, but it's been so shrouded by the subconscious programming from childhood up till school age or age, where your self-perception and worldview becomes a little distorted, and it inhibits the ability to be a free thinker. We think we're a free thinker, but actually we're like making decisions logically based off of things that's been taught to us and showed to us to be the holy grail, but that's not necessarily always the truth. So just remember who you are, whose you are, and you're worthy, you're lovable. Even if you decided to walk off your job today, you're still lovable and worthy. If it's not making you happy and bringing joy to your life and peace and passion, and you have a sense of purpose about the things you're doing, then that means you need to go and evaluate something. Because happiness is our birthright. And if you're experiencing any other emotion beyond that, that's negative, then you need to go and be still and evaluate that. That was all. Bye.